Good morning to you. This is Nelson Reddy from Durban in South Africa. Today is a very sad day for my family, and the reason for that is that 37 years ago we lost my dad. That memory lingers on for the last 37 years, and it's amazing that such a long period of time went by, but we still remember the incident like it happened yesterday. My children and my nieces and nephews are pretty unfortunate that they didn't get to meet my dad. Had they did, I'm sure he would have had a great impact on them. I must admit that I remember every single incident, or rather most of the incidents that happened while my dad was still alive. I must tell you that he was an absolute disciplinarian. And as good a child as I was in my day, and yes, I was, I must tell you that I also got into trouble with him for not doing certain things. He bestowed a very high standard with us as kids, and unfortunately we sometimes slipped, and we were certainly punished for that. I remember my punishments seemed to always occur on a Friday, and I really don't know why. Perhaps he added up all the punishment for the week and gave it to me on Friday. I remember those days that on a Friday, I think it was the Post and Leader that came out. And this father of mine decides to read the paper from the front end to the back end, while I sat in the corner. Now, I know we tell children to sit in the corner today and they'll look back at you. In my day, I knew exactly which corner I had to go to. And I must tell you, being in the corner is bad enough, but I had to stand on one leg and hold my ears crossways. Now, I'm not sure if you understand what that means, but if you do and you try it, it is very, very difficult. And I remember that each time I tried to change my leg that I stood on, I had this very stern and firm look, like, what are you doing now? Don't even move. And trust me, I followed the rules. That is the type of punishment that we had in our days. Unfortunately, today, we don't seem to do that any longer, and discipline has fallen by the wayside. But we've also had some very, very good times, and I remember being ferried along to school. Although school was some distance away from my home, we had the opportunity of Dad taking us to school every single morning. Yes, in the afternoon we'd have to find our own way back, but that wasn't bad. At least in the morning it would be so good to sit in a car and be driven off to school. I know today we have no choice but to do that for our kids, but in those days our parents had choices. And I'm glad that my dad decided to make us a priority in dropping us off at school during school days, and especially on rainy days. I remember my dad also showed me how to drive, and not forgetting that when I was at the age of 12 years old, believe this or not, just 12 years old, I sat on my dad's lap and I controlled the car while he controlled the pedals. I controlled the steering, and I steered the car all the way from Merebank to Tongaat and back. Now, that was a great achievement for me. So I was very fortunate at a very young age I could achieve at least controlling the car to such a great distance. Those days Tongaat seemed to be much further than it is today. But you know, it's so good to reflect. I wish I could have included my siblings in this, especially my sister, in this video. But it was something I just thought about as I sat at my mom's home where my dad used to live, of course, and I reflected watching his picture and remembering all those 17 lovely years that I had with him around. So I thought I'll take this time to make this video just for family. Initially I was thinking of putting it on Facebook, but I decided not a good idea. Let's keep it private, and I will send this off to as many family members as possible. But I thought it would be a nice idea to remember him, and also to give my kids and nieces and nephews an idea of what my dad was all about. There is a picture floating around. Unfortunately, we didn't take many pictures in those days, but there is a picture of him floating around the emails, and I'm not sure if it's on Facebook as yet. Guys, thank you very much for listening to me. I hope I have made some sense. And I could go on and on and on, but I have to keep the video short. And I'm just so sad that I couldn't include my siblings. I know my sister Shemaine would be very interested in joining me, and perhaps we could still do that. But for now, it's me. And I want to say thank you for listening to me. Thank you very, very much. Take care, and bye-bye now.